Okay, here is the video of my social studies portfolio. This is my intro page. My name is Jennifer Soto. I'm a second-year student at the University of La Verne. I've been married for 18 years and I have 4 children, and this is a picture of my kids here. My youngest is Allie and she's 11. I have Jake, who's 13, Cassidy, who's 15, and Craig, who is 17. And these are pictures of my kids and things we like to do. If I'm not doing homework, I'm usually on the baseball field, the football field, cheer, whatever else my kids happen to be involved in. I currently work for Bonita Unified School District as a special ed instructional aide. I've been employed with the district for almost 8 years. I am hoping to graduate with my bachelor's in liberal study in the spring of 2014. And I plan to begin the credential program at ULV in the fall of 2014. Over to the left here is all of the assignments that I completed for my social studies class, starting with my annual pacing guide. I created this as a 3rd grade social studies unit on communities, and it would go for the different months of the year, starting in September. There's activities that's listed. It says how many weeks each project or each assignment would, or each unit, I'm sorry, would, how long it would take, and different activities and when tests are and things like that. Next in my portfolio was my community service learning experience. I did my hours of community service in my daughter's 5th grade classroom. Together I helped the teacher and the students on a weekly basis. You can click on this link here to get an idea of what I did with her class. Next is my cultural learning experience. I also did this with both my girls. What I chose to do was go to visit 2 different grocery stores, and I chose ingredients that I would need to make tamales, and I wrote an entire page on that experience and how I felt and how my girls felt going through that with me. Next is my developing a 3rd grade social studies unit. This was a great example of the work that I could do creating units for classes. The topics that I chose, the standard that it encompassed, focus questions, accommodations for special needs students, there's a concept map, the learning outcomes. I made all of the maps and the KWL charts myself. I have linked them at the bottom of the page so they could be printed out as well. Next is my liberal studies lesson plan. I also created this one on Native Americans. We went through the content standards and the multiple intelligences that would be addressed, the assignments, assessments, learning environment, etc. Next was my mapping activity. I used Google Earth for my mapping activity. I thought that would be a lot of fun for the kids. They get to learn how to use Google Earth in finding their own street where they live and their neighborhood and what's around their neighborhood. They needed to use a map to show different things within their neighborhood. And then I also linked my assignment that we did on the fast, fun, and cheap mapping activities. I found quite a few really interesting mapping activities, and so I linked that page here as well. For my future use especially, so I have that in one place. Next was my show and tell assignments. I have all of my web pages listed here that I used and ideas and information that I used. Next was my technology project. I really had a lot of fun doing this one. I created a web request for 3rd grade students. It encompasses the 3rd grade social studies standards for Native Americans. If you click on this link, it takes you to that page. On this web page, I attached everything that I created for the web quest. So there's the storyboard checklist, the Native Americans fact sheet, and the Native American WebQuest checklist. And then all of these they were to take and put into a storyboard for their final presentation of an assessment. So by clicking on this link here, you can check out the WebQuest. And next I have the twin text experience. This was one of the very first assignments that we did on two books that we chose. One was a regular school textbook, and this one was a book that could go along with the textbook as a supplemental information. And then finally is my other professional development. I included a lesson plan that I had done for my second grade, on a second grade language arts sentence structure. And I thought that would be really beneficial for students who are in third grade learning how to write. So I included that on my page as well. If you have any other questions, feel free to send me an email. It's on my teacher page, and I hope you enjoyed it.